Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I have a fun project for you that is called cardboard collaging. So I made this cardboard bee out of just collaged different pieces of cardboard that I found from all around my house. So I'm hoping that you guys could do this using just things that you have in your pantry that you empty out. So for example, if you have any macaroni boxes, or like I have an empty coffee box and cereal box, and what I did was I found that each different cardboard had kind of different shades. So I had this darker cardboard, and then this other one is kind of in the middle, the wings, and then this background is the really light cardboard. So you can collage anything that you want. I chose to do a bee. I usually do an insect project with second grade, and third grade normally makes clay insects. So I decided to do a bug just to practice symmetry, and I thought, with spring coming, the bugs are already here. So I'm going to choose a ladybug for my example. The bee was a pretty, very detailed thing to make, so it took me quite a little bit of time. So if you are one of my older friends who are in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you're welcome to do something a little bit more challenging. And then if you are in my primary, so like K1, 2, but even 3rd grade, you could do something a little simpler. So I'm going to start off just by making a background piece. And it doesn't have to be really big. I ended up actually trimming the one for my bee, but I just want some kind of piece to glue everything on. And this would be considered a relief collage, so because the way that you can feel that it's textured and it's raised off the paper, so I think it'll be fun to make. So it doesn't have to be very big or even. I don't think this is even at all. But you'll need some scissors and glue. And you can use wet glue or glue stick. I think the positives of using wet glue is that in the long term, I think it sticks better. But in the short term, it can kind of slide all over the place. I don't have wet glue, or else I would probably try it. But glue sticks works just fine as well. So whatever you have and whatever is easier works for me. So I'm gonna start. Actually, I'm going to try to find, so see how these cardboards are two different shades? I think I'm going to make my ladybug's body out of this one. So actually, it's a good idea to have a picture of a ladybug, which I don't have because I'm using my phone to make a video. So I'm just going to go off memory, but if you end up having, so actually, you guys should, I'd like you to be able to see what I'm drawing, and you probably can't unless I use a Sharpie. I would use a pencil just because then your lines won't show. I could actually draw it on this side too, but it's okay. So I'm gonna focus on just drawing the shape of the bottom of the shell first, and then I know the head is going to be more like this shape. Okay, so again, I would draw with pencil so that you don't see the Sharpie lines, but for this example, I'll use a Sharpie. I've actually started seeing some ladybugs outside. I haven't seen any bees. Okay, so there's my ladybug shape. And then I think I'm going to find a lighter one to make the spots and the eyes. So I know I'm going to use this as a tool. So I waited to glue everything on for my bee until the end. So I waited until I had this whole body. I glued it on, then I glued the legs on, and then I did the wings last. But I didn't I didn't like start gluing until I knew the shape of the whole body, and I had that all set just because I found it easier to kind of put the stripes on, then put it together and put it on. So you can do it however you want to. I just waited to glue mine on in case I needed it. So I'm going to use this as a guide for my eyes because I want to know how big to make them and what shape. So you might not have these cardboard boxes available to you yet. I've been kind of collecting mine the past couple, well, for like probably a week now. But maybe you guys have some stored up. And there we go. I also have a trick that I'll show you with the dots to kind of make your lives a little bit easier when you go to make the polka dots, and the legs that I used. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'd like to show you as much as I can. Okay, so at this point I can glue these on. I think I made this eye a little too big. Still a little bigger. Maybe I'll do this. Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, so for the glue stick, remember we're not going to be shy with the glue, so I'm going to really put a lot of glue on there. And like I said, you don't have to make a bug. I chose a bug because I thought it would be fun to play with the symmetry. I thought making the little legs would be fun. Turns out it's also challenging, but still fun. And I think bugs are kind of cool, even though I don't really like when they're in my house. Okay, so there's my ladybug's eyes. And then ladybugs have that kind of stripe that divides their shell. So I'm going to make that next. And sometimes it's easier just to rip a piece of cardboard than having to like cut the whole thing. So I can just mark where to cut. So again, I'm using my ladybug kind of as a reference tool. There's my little stripe. And then when you're done with this, you're welcome to paint it. I kind of like my bee just as it is because I think I like all the different shades of cardboard. But if you choose to paint it, my only advice would be that you wait a day before painting, so that way you know for sure your glue is really dry, and when you get it wet with the paint, things aren't going to slide around. So I'm going to make some of my polka dots. I'm going to make some half dots, so I'm going to cut a half circle. So what I did was I folded my cardboard in half, and that was my trick to be able to get more than one circle at a time. So that way it's just a little bit easier, you know, on me to not have to cut a million things. And so maybe I'll kind of plan out. So I definitely need a few more dots. So I'm going to keep this folded in half, so that way when I cut my dot, I have two. And then I might do at least another set of dots and maybe another set of half dots. So, sorry, this video will take a little bit of time because I don't really want to time lapse anything, so you could see how I do it. Okay, actually maybe that's good. That's probably good, right? I wish you guys were with me so you could tell me what you thought. Maybe I'll do one half one right there. To be honest, because I didn't look up a picture, I don't know if the dots are always symmetrical on a ladybug. I kind of think not, but I'm not sure. Research would have been handy for this one. Okay. Hopefully that's good. All right, so I'm committing. All right, I'm gonna glue my dots on. And that's another good reason why, you know, you wanna kind of sometimes wait to glue things on, because if you change your mind, it's easy to move things before you glue them on. But luckily, especially the wet glue, even if you do glue something down, chances are you can still move it. So, got my dots glued on. All right, and now I have to think about what's left, which would be the legs. And insects have how many legs? I can hear you all shouting 6, Miss Kowalski, from a distance. Okay. And I'm not so concerned about like the little pieces of glue that get left behind, just because they will dry clear. And again, I think this would look better if you didn't see my Sharpie lines, but I wanted you guys to see how I drew it. So, is what it is. Okay, so I definitely need some antennas first, and I'm gonna go back to using the darker cardboard for my antennas. And I'm gonna fold it in half, so I only have to cut them once. And my antennas are gonna be small, so I don't need this huge piece. I can just use this one. All right, so I'm just gonna do like a curved line and then cut this off. My scissors are, I should honestly have some different scissors, but I don't know where my orange ones are. And those may be too big. Just gonna trim them a little bit. And again, I tried to cut 2 just because it's easier for me to have them be close to the same shape. Yeah, that's good. And then when you fold it too, you notice that they go, like they'll face opposite. So the one thing with, the first time I made the bee, I was so silly. What I did was I drew, what part did I do? Maybe it was a leg. I think I made this leg and then I traced the same leg, but then I realized if I flipped the cardboard the other way, it had the, you know, the food side on it. So then I realized that you have to do it like the opposite way. So if you fold it and you cut it at the same time, they'll naturally be opposite, go in opposite directions. Oops, I didn't glue this down. Sorry, so at this point you could probably glue your insect down. And remember, I'm not being shy with my glue right now. Because with glue sticks especially, you need a fair amount of glue. Okay, so there's my antennas, and I can do a little dot at the end actually, so that they have that little, I don't know, the little circle thing. Things I should know more about science, animals and insects. Maybe when we get back to school you guys could teach me some stuff. Fingers get all sticky and then I can't stick this thing down. Okay. Trying to use up some excess glue. Okay, so there's my little ladybug antennas. I suppose actually the legs I could maybe time lapse real quick. So I do those the same in terms of, I mean, ladybug legs to me, when I think of them, are like little short legs. Again, I'm using the dark cardboard because I want it to stand out against the light cardboard background. So I can do a quick time lapse of the legs. So here's my finished ladybug. I made 6 legs. I made them kind of short. I think ladybug's legs are small, smaller than like a bee's. So I put them all together. I'm gonna wait for the glue to dry. I probably will just keep mine the way they are because I like how the light and dark cardboard look, so I'm not gonna paint them, but you're welcome to paint them. And I hope you guys have fun with this if you decide to do it. If you do decide, I'd love to see pictures. If you want to paint it again, I would just wait a day so your glue can totally dry. And I miss you guys so much. I hope you have a great Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow.